All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today. Today is September 23rd, and I have with me live in studio none other than Tom Smith. Tom, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Toby.
Man, so good to see you in here, and so good to be here with everyone. And I'll move this chat a little bit out of the way so you guys can see me while I'm talking. I don't want to be talking over everybody, you know. So how's everybody doing today? Lots of people here today. So glad to see everyone. Ex Machina Engineering saying hi, Tom.
How's it going?
Yep, good. And Random is saying hi. What's up, Random? How you doing? Hope everything is going well up at your place today. Great to see you in here today. I know Random personally, believe it or not, even though it's a random person, I still know exactly who that person is. Jed Hightower giving you a little shout out there, personalized shout out. Yep. And Christoph Janowski saying hello. Yeah. And Molly Christensen is here saying, let's go, Aaron. AaronC, maybe of relation. I don't know. Yep, could be. So we got lots of people here tuning in today. Welcome. Tayfun is here. Welcome, Tayfun. Thanks for joining us. Procky is here. Gary Bruce is here. Welcome. So good to see everybody here today. What a beautiful Saturday morning. I don't know how it is for where you are, but for where Tom and I are, it's raining.
It's a monsoon.
It is.
It's going to rain for another 48 hours.
Yeah, it is raining like crazy here, and we needed it. I don't know. We needed it.
No, we don't.
Depends how you look at it. Yeah, it's nice when you mow the lawn, and then you don't have to mow it again for like a month. That's kind of how I feel like it's been this summer. So, but we needed the water, so I'm happy to have it. As long as nothing floods. GGD is here. What's up, GGD? Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Well, guys, as you know, we are here in the round of 16, the Sweet 16, and the models are getting harder. The competition is getting tougher. That means that, we need to keep this presentation moving along. We're going to be getting into it here, talking about some of these challenges. But for those of you who don't know, who maybe haven't seen Tom before, Tom is a certified SOLIDWORKS expert, a two-time Model Mania champion, and more importantly to me, Tom has been here with us since the start of this tournament. So the very first one we did back in 2020, Tom was there, finished runner-up with Ivan. Is that right? Something like that. And then
it's all a blur.
It's all, yeah, indeed. Tom was also here for the second tournament that we had, and Tom was also here last year where he came in the top four, the final four. So Tom has a lot of experience in both competitive speed modeling and also in speed modeling in the World Championship of Speed Modeling. So
yeah, thank you. I've been using SOLIDWORKS since '97.
Wow.
And I think I've probably known you for a good 15 years. When you were of course a reseller. So yeah, me and Toby go way back.
Yeah. It's been a good run. It's been good knowing you all this time, and we've had a lot of fun experiences together, both like doing presentations together on the business side, but also like going to SOLIDWORKS World together, hanging out on the bus in Orlando. Probably the peak of all those events. It's hanging out on the bus
all downhill
in Orlando. Yeah, me yelling at people, asking them what they got on Model Mania.
Saying my audio's low.
That was pretty fun.
Closer here.
Okay, Tom's audio is low. Yeah, my audio tends to be pretty boisterous. I'll turn mine down.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Try and turn Tom's up a little bit, and we'll see if we can come to a good middle ground here. It's all about trying to come to a good middle ground.
Happy to be here in the Too Tall Toby studio.
Yeah.
The ceiling is a little lower than I thought it was going to be. But.
Yeah, we got to work on that. We got to talk to everybody.
There's little cutouts for Toby's head that he has to walk through.
Yes, I'll hit it on everything. Exactly. I did hit my head at least once today already. Yep. So, yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, hopefully we were able to fix the audio, and if anything else needs to be adjusted, just let us know along the way. It's because the music is loud. It sounds good now. Okay, good. Thank you very much for that, Random. Random is my producer, my remote producer. So thank you, Random. Awesome job. Appreciate it. Tom just got soft and just has a soft and calming voice.
That's so nice.
Yeah, that's a great observation from Jed. Very, very true. So, guys, we're going to get into it here. Don't forget, if you want to get notifications about this tournament, you can go to tootalltoby.com/calendar. I've got a calendar up there with all the upcoming events for this tournament, and you can just add those to your calendar, add those to your iPhone maybe, right? or to your other type of phone if you have a different type of phone.
Hey, you get an alert. Oh, I gotta watch Toby.
Exactly. Saturday
now.
morning, gotta wake up. You know, gotta watch this tournament. You can also go to the YouTube playlist. The YouTube playlist has all of the upcoming episodes and the past episodes. Of course, we do have the new build of Too Tall Toby live now. If you want to check that out, there's some special functionality that you can get to only from the new Too Tall Toby website. TooTallToby.com is up and running. You can sign up and become a member of that website. You can download some PDFs of practice models from that website from the general store. So lots of cool functionality in there. And another thing that you'll find there is TooTallToby.com/leaderboard. We actually had the first person run the leaderboard with plasticity. Have you heard of plasticity yet?
No.
It's kind of like push-pull CAD. It's like a merge between push-pull CAD and parametric modeling, prismatic modeling. So it's pretty cool. Plasticity, you can check it out. There's a video of it there on the leaderboard. We've got our first plasticity runner on the leaderboard there. But all of the past leaderboards are there as well on the new TooTallToby.com. So check that out for sure. And that brings us into our discussion of the tournament itself. This tournament started out with 32 people, a 32-person bracket, split up into these 4 different color-coded brackets. In the black bracket, sponsored by Joko Engineering. I don't know if you're familiar. Have you ever seen Joko Engineering videos?
Never heard of them.
They're pretty good. Yeah, Joko does a lot of different types of CAD, Libre, FreeCAD, Onshape. He makes tips and tricks and tutorials on all those videos. JokoEngineering.com, where all of your 3D CAD dreams come true. So check out our sponsor for the black bracket, Joko Engineering. In the black bracket, we saw the round of 32 featured 8 competitors and now has been chopped down to just 3. So last week we saw the Golden Spamfish go up against Fabien Pierre. Pretty epic matchup between those two, but it was the Golden Spamfish running Onshape in dark mode who was able to emerge victorious. Now next week we're going to see Ivan the Reasonable, your nemesis, right?
He's my buddy now. I met him in at SOLIDWORKS World.
Oh, you know what? I remember what happened in the very first tournament we did. You and Ivan were in the finals, but then in the second tournament, remember I did the hat and I would pull the names, and you guys got paired up right away.
Yeah.
So Ivan the Reasonable in the tournament next week. The former champion of this tournament is going to be going up against Chadwick, the inventor wizard. So I think that's going to be a really good match next week, September 30th. We move over to the blue bracket. The blue bracket is sponsored by the crew over at SolidBox. If you guys ever need anything hardware related, or if you need training or consulting, really any kind of professional CAD services, you got to check out mysolidbox.com. They provide hardware for professional CAD or CAM engineers. So if you need a computer that you get it on your desk and it just works, check out the crew at MySolidBox. You ever work with those guys before?
Yeah.
Those
machines are screamers.
Yeah, and you know what they do? They actually get the machine in their shop first, and then they go through and they strip out all the bloatware. They run a custom build of Windows. They go through and adjust the registry. They even go into the BIOS and adjust all the settings, and then they ship the computer to you. I think they can even load SolidWorks for you. And that way, like, as soon as you get the computer, you open it up out of the box, you just turn on SolidWorks and it works. So check them out, mysolidbox.com, an awesome partner sponsoring the blue bracket. And in the blue bracket, we have the #1 seed of the entire tournament, Juiced, running Ansys Space Claim. What do you think about Juiced's performance so far?
His match I didn't catch, so I'm gonna have to tune in on it till the 21st.
Yeah, the Ansys Space Claim, I mean, Juiced has been absolutely crushing on the leaderboard. Each month he would go through, he would do 3 models in less than 2 minutes.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, and so it's really interesting to watch the way that he goes through and creates these models and thinks about these models. He went up against Mohammed last week using CATIA V5, and also a very strong competitor. Went to 3 matches last week, but it was Juiced who was able to emerge victorious. And next week on September 30th, we're going to see Will from Brazil, who's just been totally crushing it in Model Monday Live, going up against old friend of the show, Victor K, who's an absolutely solid SolidWorks user. So a little SolidWorks versus SolidWorks action next week. Can't wait to see that. And then we'll find out who's going to make it into the Elite 8 in those 2 brackets. But we're not really talking about those 2 brackets today. We're talking about the green bracket. The green bracket does not have a sponsor, so if you are out there and you want to sponsor the green bracket, let us know. We're looking for a sponsor for that green bracket still. But today we're going to see AaronC going up against Jed Hightower, some SolidWorks versus SolidWorks action. You can see the green bracket really is just dominated by SolidWorks users. Pranav, Jed Hightower, AaronC here. But down at the bottom we got Joush. And Joush is the #2 seed in the whole tournament.
Wow.
So
Nice.
Josh might have to fend off all these SolidWorks users in order to make his way to November 11th. We're going to see how it goes. We got Joko Engineering in the chat right now as well. Yeah, great to see you in here. And Ivan the Reasonable is in the chat as well.
Hey, Ivan.
This is awesome. What's up, guys? Welcome, welcome. And in the red bracket is sponsored by Alibre. Now, I don't know how much you know about Alibre, but Alibre has been around for a long, long time, over 20 years. And Alibre makes CAD that is very powerful, but also very affordable and very easy to use. And so what Alibre did for this tournament in sponsoring the red bracket was they said, listen, we want to make 3D CAD available for everybody in the tournament. So every single person who runs this tournament is going to get a seat of Alibre as part of the prizes.
Nice.
So huge shout out to Alibre. If you guys haven't checked them out, you can go back and watch the very first episode, July 15th. You can see Ty running Alibre in competition. You can see the way the user interface looks. It's really slick. It's a really good user interface. And just a huge thank you to Alibre for sponsoring the red bracket and trying to just get, 3D CAD out there for everybody. And so today we've got the whiz kid Imants from Onshape. Now, Imants is the younger brother of Allness.
Oh,
and
okay.
Allness, as you know, ran the tournament last year.
Sure.
Using Onshape on an old, I'll say, underperforming Linux laptop, and just totally crushed and won the entire tournament, which is like a real testament to the power of Onshape, the power of running CAD in the cloud or running CAD from a browser. And Allness, and also, of course, to Allness's skill. It's not just the CAD, it's also the wizard. And so now we've got the younger brother of the current champion trying to tear his way through this tournament. But I think this is going to be one of his toughest matches because he's going up against JMD. JMD is the number 3 seed in the entire tournament.
Nice.
So JMD using SolidWorks versus Imants. This is going to be really interesting. And then down below here, we've got Jack Sato. He's from Hawaii. He's running Onshape as well. And he's going to be going up against Tihan Rafa, and she is from Egypt. So our final remaining Egyptian competitor here going up against Jack Sato, and that'll be on October 7th.
This is a real international competition.
Yeah, it really, truly is. I mean, we started out this tournament with 32 runners, plus we had some people on the waiting list, and 15 different countries were represented.
Wow.
Yeah. So it truly is an international. Now, I'm going to challenge you, Tom, to tell me what each of these flags are.
Oh, the first one I have no idea.
I'm just kidding. I don't even know if I would.
The spot for the test.
I don't know if I would even know what they are, aside from the fact that I had to keep renaming the files, and I'm like, what's this one again? Oh, Peru. Okay, But we had 8 different CAD systems that got started. Now, after the matches last week, we can see that a number of these countries and a number of these CAD systems have been eliminated. So I think we're now down to 8 countries. Let's see here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, only 7 countries. So down to 7 countries here. We're down to just 4 CAD systems: ANSYS, Space Claim, Onshape, SolidWorks, and Inventor. So let me know in the chat, who do you think is going to make it to the top? What country is going to be represented in the, holding that final championship trophy? And what CAD system do you think it's going to be? Let me know what you think in the chat, who you're rooting for. Or if you're not sure, you can just say, just type in
put a question mark.
Yeah, just type in a question mark, exactly. And so I want to say thank you, of course, to my team, Mrs. Tall Toby, who helped with all the coordination, reaching out to all the runners, making sure that everything was scheduled properly. And, of course, my web dev guy, Bodie McBoatpants, who actually random knows Bodie McBoatpants. So it's like kind of a small world. They actually know one another. But Bodie McBoatpants, thank you so much. All of the web dev, setting up the leaderboard, setting up all of the competitor forms and everything. So thank you guys so much to my team. You guys are awesome. Hello, team. And Jed Hightower says Ivan and Victor in the final. Ooh. Oh, he's counting himself out.
He's thrown in foul already. That's it.
All right. Is there a prize? Absolutely. Everybody's trying to make their way to November 11th, because on November 11th, everybody who makes it there is going to win something. 3rd and 4th place are going to get $125 USD each. 2nd place is going to get $250 USD, and 1st place is going to win $500.
Wow.
That's a lot of money, That's almost enough to go to Costco one time. And beyond that, there's going to be some additional prizes. We've got, like I mentioned before, our sponsor, Alibre. Alibre is powerful yet easy to use 3D CAD software that's affordable. Really cool stuff that Alibre has been doing for quite a while now. And they've got 3 different flavors of their CAD system, and all of our runners are going to win a seat of the Atom 3D flavor of their software. Our runner-up is going to win the professional version, and the winner is going to win the expert version of that CAD system. So very capable, very impressive 3D CAD system, and a huge shout out to AaronC for sponsoring the red bracket and putting up these awesome prizes for all of our runners. And so with that, let's get into it here. Let's talk about what we're going to be doing today, September 23rd. We are in the Sweet 16. The models get tougher. The competitors get tougher. The models get harder. This first matchup from the green bracket is going to feature AaronC running SolidWorks from the United States going up against Jed Hightower running SolidWorks from the United States. And something that Tom and I were talking about before the stream started is that they're both running the same version of SolidWorks 2020, and they're both running in dark mode.
They must think alike. It's going to be a good match.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good match. I can't wait to see what the Wheel of Fate delivers to them. And then in our second bracket, sponsored by Alibre, we've got Imants, University of Washington engineering student, and JMD, the industrial designer, both from the United States.
I think Imants, the cat is strong in his family. He's got another good run here.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of training they're doing together. You know, if it's like Rocky and Apollo, they're out on the beach, and then it's like, what would you use here? You know, shell, rib. What would be the order? Yeah. Doing the combinations. Guys, if you like this kind of content, the best way that you can support this channel is to like and subscribe. Hit that like button. I'm not able to see how many people are watching right now, but let's try and get the number of people watching to match the number of likes. That is very, very helpful. Looks like we got about 50 people watching right now, so let's see if we can get up to about 50 likes here on this video. That would be super helpful and very much appreciated. Of course, if you're here for the first time, be sure to subscribe so you can get all the notifications. And if you're watching today, you could take a screen capture of the CAD vs. CAD matchups, send that out to your social network. If you see me posting stuff on LinkedIn or on Twitter, take that information and just repost it onto your social networks. It's really helpful to help grow the channel. Anything you can do to share and reshare is a great way to help support the channel. And of course, you can sign up for a free account over at TooTallToby.com so we can stay in touch with you and we can continue growing this community. We do have Super Chat enabled today. If you want to send over some financial thank you, you can certainly do that through Super Chat. Financial support, it's always helpful. It's always appreciated. You just go down to the bottom of the YouTube chat and there's a little $ symbol, and then you can use a credit card and send over some Super Chat. I know it's not available in all countries, so I understand not everybody has this opportunity. But if you do and you want to support the channel, it's always very much appreciated. And if you're watching the recording, you can do the same thing using the Super Thanks button. So how do these matches work, Tom?
Well, each person's given the drawing on the stream. They get to look it over, and then they get to town modeling it. And the winner gets the mass right. But they get 2 chances to put the mass in.
Yep, calculate the mass.
That's the winner.
Type it into the YouTube chat. That's what our runners are going to be doing. And like you said, in this tournament, it's going to be a best of 3 matchups. And the best of 3 matchups is going to, as soon as you win 1, you're going to win a point, and that's going to allow you to move on to the second matchup. And if you win 2 points, you move on to the Elite 8. And you're allowed to get 1 wrong answer, like you said. If you get the answer wrong, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, Tom, that mass is incorrect. Please enter that mass again. And then if you get it wrong a second time, that's it.
That's it.
Can't enter the answer again. And last week, the round of 32, the models were pretty easy. And so, throughout the round of 32, most people were able to get them correct. We didn't really see too many wrong answers, maybe a couple here and there. But last week, we saw a lot of wrong answers because the models are getting tougher, and it can be nerve-wracking for sure. So we're going to see how people do today with these round of 16 models, and they're just going to keep getting tougher. We get in the round of 8, they're going to get tougher. By the time we get to the finals, it's going to be, model a V8 engine.
Yeah.
Start to finish. Go. Guys, if you're watching at home, when I show the 2D print, you can take a screen capture and you can absolutely play right along with these runners. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to see if you can be faster than someone who made it to the round of 16. So you can grab a screen capture of that print. But what I ask you to do is please do not help. So do not enter the correct answer in the chat or what you think is the correct answer. Do not type in the chat like, oh, he needs to add a fillet or he forgot to add the fillets on the corners or anything like that.
Don't give any tips.
Yeah, don't give any tips. These guys are the stars today, so we're going to let them shine. And you know, like I said, it's a lot of fun to play along with. If you're playing along with from home and you get it and you want to flex a little bit, just type in the chat and say, I got it.
Although as a competitor, when you're working on the thing, the chat is like the last thing you're looking at. So
it's true, but you know, yeah, we want to make sure that nobody gets an edge. You know, when that could happen would be like if you submitted your answer. So now you go in the chat, you submit your answer, and then you look, and somebody's like, "Oh,
everybody said what they
it."
did wrong. Sure.
Yeah. So we don't want that. You know, we want this to be truly 1 versus 1. So we got a lot of people in here rooting for Aaron. Ryan Deck is here. Let's go, Aaron. Nice. Excellent sportsmanship to everybody. Yep. Go. Gino is here. Go, my boy Aaron. You got this. Yeah, awesome, Gino. Great to see you in here. And yeah, good luck. Good luck to Aaron. Good luck to Jed. These are going to be some good matchups today. So let's learn a little bit about our runners here. They made it through the round of 16. They're now here in the round of 32. They're now here in the round of 16. And we've got AaronC on the left. He's a BSME. That's a bachelor's, right?
Yep.
Bachelor's of Science, Mechanical Engineering. Dog dad. Nice. I got dogs. You got dogs?
I got dogs.
Yep. We like
I'm
dogs for sure.
You're a dad.
Yeah. This guy
Jed's
rules.
a dad.
So learns CAD on SketchUp. So SolidWorks was a rough transition for me. Okay. Can backflip on skis.
What?
Wow, that's impressive.
I'd kill myself.
Has tried 97 different root beers.
I didn't know there were 97 different.
Yep, very good to know. Favorite jelly bean is buttered popcorn. Good. This is good to know. And my favorite SolidWorks command is delete face. Yeah, we can definitely get on board with that. We love delete face. Yo, Ryan is in here too. I like this the rail for Aaron. This is awesome. And then we've got Jed Hightower here. 12 years of SolidWorks experience. He's a hubby. He's a dad. Been in oil and energy almost his entire career. Enjoys hanging out with the wife and the kiddos when I get a chance. Yep, we all kind of fight that battle. Other than working and sleeping, off-roading and shooting at the range are really the only other things that I do are really the only things I do as far as outdoor activities go. Oh, I also watch TV mostly and model parts in my spare time. Oh, not very fast, by the way. Okay.
Well, we'll see how fast it is.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, we got one more.
Oh, one more.
I'm a pretty boring dude. I sometimes think all I do is sleep, go to work, watch TV a little, sleep, and repeat. Yeah, so I guess Jed didn't have time to really give us a lot of facts about himself. Maybe next time we'll get 2 or 3 pages from him. And I think that's probably good. I think now we kind of understand how both these guys tick. Let's give them a chance to do a quick practice run here. So normally what we would do at this point is we would flip over to full screen and we would do, we would jump into the first model. We do the Wheel of Fate, all that. But I think what we're going to do now is we're just going to go over and give these guys a quick practice run. So here we go. Let's just kind of get the butterflies out. Let's make sure that all systems are running properly. We're going to ask these guys to attempt to model this practice model in 3, 2, 1, go. So here's the 2D print.
Oh man, they're getting harder.
Yep. These runners are going to grab this 2D print. They're going to put it on usually on their second screen. If you're following along with from home, if you're playing along with from home, you can do the same thing. Grab the practice, this print here, put it on your second screen, and then you can try to model it up and see if you can come up with the correct mass. We go to our CAD versus CAD layout here, watch these two experts try to take on this super difficult challenge.
Remember how long something like that would take in old AutoCAD? And then you have to extrude it, and then you have to wait for it to render in color.
Yep. Yeah, I do remember that. AutoCAD 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. All right, so I think that all of our systems look good. We got Aaron on the left. We got Jed on the right, both using dark mode. You can see Jed is using like a green font. Kind of cool looking.
The neon green feature manager there.
And look at those answers coming in, one right after the other. 3159, 3159. That is correct. And so if this was an actual competition, that would give Aaron the point, because you can see in the chat that Aaron got it in there first. So that's pretty much the gist of how this goes. Again, if you want to play along with from home, feel free to grab that screen capture when I show that thing in full screen. And now we are going to turn to the Wheel of Fate. The Wheel of Fate is sponsored today by AaronC, so thank you so much to AaronC. And if you guys are out there watching and you want to play along with the Wheel of Fate, type in a number. All the numbers start with 23T, and then they have some additional numbers here. What do you think it's going to be? A little bit of gambling here, a little bit of you know, a little bit of guesswork, a little bit of gambling. Now, listen, guys, I hate to do this to you, but I am going to randomize these. So if you want to revise your guess, that's fine. Let me just shuffle these up a little bit here. And, you know, that way they're not just all completely in order. But take a look at the wheel, type it in the chat. What do you think it's going to be? Let's see what we got here. Gary Bruce thinks 37, Tayfun 44, Amy Hightower coming in with 50. Let's see here. Imants coming in with 23-T. Well, it definitely will start with 23-T, Imants, so I think you got that one locked up. Joko Engineering coming in with 32. Vicky Chong coming in with 41. Procky coming in with 44. And Ex Machina coming in with 32.
I know the competitors, they don't really care what number. They're just shaking out that they're getting ready.
They're getting ready.
They don't care what number it is.
Yep.
They're just waiting for it.
JMD is hoping for 50. What do you think it's going to be, Tom?
Oh, let's see. How about 51?
51. All right, let's let it rip. The Wheel of Fate is sponsored by AaronC. This is going to determine what drawing our runners end up with today.
Oh,
and
it
is
51,
51. Oh, 44. So it was Procky who got it. Congratulations to Procky. You should go to casino tonight. And also Tayfun. I think Tayfun's got it before a couple times too. So you guys go to casino tonight, bet on roulette. And let's get this ready. Tom, do you have any advice for these runners as we're getting everything ready here?
Yeah, like when I used to do Model Mania, they used to give you as much time as you wanted to look at the drawing. So it's you don't really get that benefit here, but if you could, you know, if you take a few extra seconds, study the drawing, understand where things are and where things are going to be, it's a big help because then you don't there's not as much flipping back and forth, and you're not too surprised by, oh, there's something here I totally missed and now I have to start over again. So yeah, study that drawing. I know you don't have a whole lot of time because it's on the clock, but it really helps.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. You are correct that you know you don't really have a lot of time. So you know, being able to study that drawing is, you know, you got to find where that balance is, right? You got to try and study that drawing, but then you got to get yourself ready to
think about the next feature. You know, what features you're going to use. You're going to do it all in one sketch, multiple sketches.
Exactly, yeah. And and Imants and Tayfun are talking about how these guys don't even know if it's going to be in metric or in inches.
Right.
You know, they're not going to know until we get this thing going. So I think we're ready. I think everybody in the audience is ready. So here we go. Let's go, guys. This very first CAD battle taking place between SolidWorks and SolidWorks, dark mode versus dark mode, begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXX grams? So our runners are taking a screen capture of this part. It's called Belt Guide. There's some magenta notes on this one that you have to use to help you with the creation of this model. And this model is in 1060 alloy, 2,700 kilograms per cubic meter. Looks like both of our runners have grabbed the screen capture. They're both kind of thinking about how to start. This is following Tom's advice.
This is a wacky part.
Yeah, this
is good to study this one.
Yeah, this part's got some, we're in the round of 16 now. This is, there's no freebies anymore. This is tough. This is tough stuff here.
Both guys are roughly starting with the same idea. They're not starting with the part that's straight and flat. They're going for the angle bit right off the bat.
Yeah, so interesting. This is something I was interested in when seeing these two runners both using the same version of SolidWorks, both using dark mode. How similar is their thought process going to be? And looking pretty similar.
So far, even the origin is the same. Good Lord.
Yeah. Very interesting to see two different runners here. And, you can see that this part here it's an interesting part. It's got that kind of taper on it. We have to sometimes put that taper on our parts to help people not be able to exploit the Ivan exploit.
Yeah.
So, for those rectangular slots that are running through this thing, we don't want people to be able to just drop those rectangular slots anywhere. We want them to be at the specific location where they were dimensioned to. So our runners, they're not going to be able to get away with as much.
I've already seen one error so far. I'm not going to say who and I'm not going to say where, but I did see one error already made.
Wow. Okay. Wow, the heat is on. We got Jason Cannon in the chat. What's up, Jason? Says, let's go. I don't know if you know about Jason, but he is my CAD mentor from many years ago. So good to see him in here. And thank you so much for joining us again, Jason. He's been a regular in the chat in these tournaments. So what's up? Welcome. I'm sure he would have some advice for these runners with all his experience in 3D CAD. So I like the way on the left we see AaronC kind of going with almost a layout approach.
Yeah, it's good to stuff like this. It's good to draw like everything, like in that you can see in one view. Whether or not you use tools to cut it out later, or just reuse the same sketch, that helps a lot.
Yeah, and that's something that, as I've been learning more about Onshape, I've really been using that not only in Onshape, because it's kind of like the natural or the preferred way of modeling in Onshape, but also kind of going back and re-examining some of those capabilities in SolidWorks. Like you saw that Aaron there on the left did a cut extrude, but he did it from an offset location, and he was able to use that layout geometry. Very, very impressive from AaronC there, really taking advantage of all the tools. Here we see another extrusion offset to a different face, different from the original sketch plane. So really cool to see somebody using that SolidWorks functionality of offsetting when they're creating that layout sketch and offsetting to a specific plane. Looks like Jed on the left is going through creating that rectangular cut up top, but maybe getting a little bit hung up on the location of that L-shaped bar that's coming out. That location is a little bit tricky. You know, it's hard to figure out how you're gonna create that sketch, what needs to be dimensioned, and I sympathize with Jed. I've definitely been there, and I kind of knew when I made this model that might be a little bit tricky.
Good use of the slot tool here. Anytime I see something with a brown on the end and two straight lines, even if it's not going to be a slot, quote unquote, it's a quick and easy tool to use.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, even if it's like a solid tombstone shape, I might still use a slot.
Yeah, and just let you don't have to worry about what hangs below.
Off the edge, yeah.
This part doesn't have the advantage of,
we see Gino in the chat saying we got all of Platteville people here for Aaron. Nice. I hope you guys are all watching on different screens.
Aaron posted a
result.
Yep,
Aaron has put in the answer here. His answer is 547.2, and that is correct. Nice. So congratulations to Aaron. Wow, that was fast. That was super fast modeling. Very impressive. Wow. What did you guys think about that in the chat? He just blasted through that model. Look at this little victory dance here at the end, too. I like it.
Everyone with a space ball, they spin them around.
Yeah, very reminiscent of like a BattleBots victory dance. Yep. Wow, that was awesome. Great job. Very, very impressive there from AaronC. Great job to both of our runners, of course. Jed Hightower, always the honorable sportsman, right away coming in saying, no GG, Aaron. Nice job. Let's go, Aaron. GG to the winner, guys. Let's give Aaron a good game in the chat. That was fast.
And Jed, I'll let you know, the thing I saw, you had the perpendicular on the very top of that peak on the wrong corner.
Oh, yikes. What? Tom Smith, what a keen eye.
Watch out for stuff like that. It might be off by the tolerance,
Yes. Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, these models are, it's intended to make these models to a specific tolerance. So very, very good point there. Wow. So what do you think your favorite flavor of jelly bean is?
Mine, I like the cherry or fruit punch flavor.
Yep, that's good. That's a good answer. You're not like a licorice, like the black licoricey one.
Or have you seen all the ones that are like really nasty, like vomit flavor?
Yeah, those are my favorite.
I don't know how they sell it.
Yeah, I get a whole bag of those.
Oh, man.
Bag of the vomit ones, and I just eat them all day. All right. Well, guys, I'm glad that we sorted that out. And if you guys want to let us know in the chat, what is your favorite flavor of jelly bean? I think that would be pretty interesting. And 97 different root beers. That's pretty interesting too.
I know of A&W and
hers.
And that's it.
Or no, A treat.
A treat, yeah.
That was like a soda thing. That's it.
That's all I know.
Okay. Yeah, that's about all I got as well. Okay, JMD says black cherry is his favorite jelly bean flavor. Interesting. All right, guys. Well, you know what time it is. It's time to consult the Wheel of Fate. I didn't mean actual time.
Oh.
The Wheel of Fate. So it's time to consult the Wheel of Fate. What do you guys think it's going to be? The wheel is currently idle, so that gives you a chance to really see what the different options are here. Let us know in the chat what you think it's going to be. Gary Bruce right away coming in with 37. Tayfun going for 45. If I was you out there, I would just type in whatever Tayfun.
I'll say 51.
Yeah. Okay, 51 from Tom. I'm going to say 45 because I'm going to just stick with what Tayfun wrote. So the Wheel of Fate is upon us. We're going to find out here. Let's see here. Seems from the commentators that playing guitar is required to be an engineer. Great observation there from CBC at GBCX Prime. Yep.
The guitar is a very precise instrument.
Yep. Very, very precise indeed. I actually modeled a bass guitar earlier this year on live stream in SolidWorks. So if you guys want to watch that live stream, it's on the channel. And here we go. Jason Cannon coming in 37. Let's see what we get from the Wheel of Fate. Give this thing a spin. Shout out to Alibre for sponsoring the Wheel of Fate this week. Ho, ho, ho! 49. I don't know if any... Oh, Stefan got that. Nice job, Stefan. Congratulations. Nailing it.
You win 3 internets.
Man, yeah, 3 internets for Stefan. That's really good. All right, so 49. Let's see what we got here. This is probably going to be an interesting one. We'll see how these guys can handle this one. All right. So moving into this next round, you got a chance to observe the runners this first round, Tom. What do you think? What would you advise them to do differently this next time around?
You know, it's funny that last print didn't have any symmetry at all. And that's usually a big help. You can identify symmetry. You can draw, half the part. There was one of the tournaments where somebody used, I forget, it was a couple weeks ago, they used like a 4-way symmetry. And they started drawing, and it looked like a bunch of squares. I'm like, what the hell are you drawing? And then all of a sudden he was extrude, 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 mirror, 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 and it was done. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It really took me, but yeah, whenever there's symmetry, jump on it. Start from your center planes and draw out from there.
Yeah, some people really have a knack for picking up on those types of situations where there's symmetry in both directions and they can just draw. I usually end up at least drawing half the model. I struggle sometimes to get it to mirror in both directions just in my brain, but it's definitely a tool that is available out there, and so it's cool to see if people can use it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that advice is all going to be for nothing if I don't know what 45 looks like. So
yeah, 49, right? 49.
Oh, 49.
Yep,
okay.
49. Hopefully I wrote it down right. All right, well, guys, we got to see one match between these titans. Let's move on now into this next 3D CAD battle. We got SolidWorks versus SolidWorks. We got dark mode versus dark mode. This next matchup, whoops, oh crud. This next matchup begins in 3, 2, 1, go. Kind of flashed something inadvertently there for the runners. So here we see this 2D print. Please take a screen capture of this 2D print. This part is called elbow bracket. What is the mass of this part in grams? You got plus or minus 2 grams for your tolerance here, 1060 alloy for your material. Let's flip over and see how our runners approach this challenge. Once again, both AaronC and Jed starting off with what seems to be the same
We don't know if
profile.
it's the same yet. We don't know where they are. We don't know if it's the top or the bottom.
Looks like it though, 90, 55, looks the same.
It looks like a familiar part.
The elbow bracket, yeah. I mean, this elbow bracket type shape has been used in other competitions for sure. I did make this one from scratch, but as I was making it, I was like, this looks and feels very familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks like Aaron's drawn in the whole, what could be a thin feature, but he's drawn the entire profile there.
Yep, drawing the whole thing in there. And once again,
even the fillets he's drawn in.
Once again, using the layout approach as opposed to kind of doing it feature by feature. I like the approach that Jed's using here, feature by feature. That's more the approach that I would use. That's kind of the approach that I learned from my mentor, Jason Cannon. But we'll see here what actually turns out to be the fastest technique.
Well, sometimes you don't even know the final lengths of these things because you need the features to attach to.
That is true, and that would be a benefit of doing the layout technique.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
Jed's got some solids already. Aaron's still working on the sketch. Trying to get rid of all the blue. He's got the yellow.
Yeah, the yellow.
The puke color.
Yeah.
The vomit.
Yeah.
That's the vomit jelly bean right there.
Nobody ever likes seeing that vomit jelly bean color. Wow. Oh, and Aaron kind of doing a reset there. Decided to back off. Oh, it sounds like he might be listening to my advice.
maybe we shouldn't give so many tips.
Yeah, he's just going solid. Let's go. Yeah, and Jed, you can see on the right, has already got those 2 solids in place and is now trying to figure out what that connecting segment looks like.
We're going to see if that was a good idea or not. pretty soon, getting rid of all the sketch that you had.
Yeah. Yeah, for the people watching at home, you could always roll back. If you didn't get a chance to do a screen capture, you could just roll back a minute or two and you could see the 2D print, or I'll bring it up here kind of above our runners. I don't want to block them out too much from their activity, but you can kind of see here what they're struggling with regards to creating this geometry. This is a very common type of shape that you'll see in automotive design, in machine design, where you need something to change axes by 90 degrees and maybe change location. This kind of elbow type shape, and then it's not strong enough on its own, so you need to create some type of bracing going up through it. This is a pretty common shape that you'll see in the mechanical engineering world. So it's a good challenge for anybody who's a student, anybody who's trying to learn CAD, and it's really interesting to see both of our runners kind of struggle with this one a little bit.
Yeah, see, Aaron went back and maybe I shouldn't have said thin feature because Aaron's got one in there.
Well, it's we can't help ourselves, right, Tom?
Yep.
We've done this many competitions. It's just gotta let it roll. So we see here now, it looks like Aaron...
Jed's using thin feature, but he's got 2 thin features.
Yeah, he's doubling it up there. I don't know if that's what he was hoping for. And we see that Aaron is once again going to be taking advantage of creating almost like the layout geometry here again. There's, when you do things like that, I mean, you can kind of see, I don't want to say specifically, but you can kind of see that on Aaron's screen, there's going to be some challenges he's going to have to deal with later on. He's not going to be really getting the idealized geometry there. So I'm very interested to see how he takes care of those challenges downstream. We also see that Jed here.
There's the delete face on Aaron's side.
Look at that, delete face right in the S key menu, and wow, that is how he was able to take care of those. Almost as soon as I said it, he was able to get in there and take care of them. Very cool, very good use of delete face. We love seeing delete face on this channel. Him saying that was his favorite feature makes me really happy. Anytime I can see somebody leveraging delete face. There's an interesting approach. I don't know.
Oh, I've done that. I don't know
if we'd see that kind of a technique in the real world too often.
Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah, you just kind of tear up through.
You bury it right in there. Nobody will ever know.
Yeah. So Aaron using a Tom Smith approved technique here.
Yep. I've done that many times. What's Jed working on? Jed's working on that outer piece of the little thin web.
Yeah, that kind of bracing. Very similar to what Aaron was working on just a moment ago. And Aaron going through now, and looks like he's probably trying to create some fillets on this thing. Giving it a kind of a look over. Sometimes we call that the final spin. Whoa, what a keen eye there.
Some little dingus.
Yeah, that's why you do the final spin. You try to make sure that you had little dingus.
Dingus.
I like that term. Wow. Delete Face Master has returned. Yes, indeed. And CBC Prime saying, wow, Aaron really... Okay, and Aaron has come in with an answer, and his answer is 5013. And that is correct.
Nice.
So congratulations. That's going to give Aaron the big win.
Victory cat.
The 2 points. It's going to give him the victory cat. And wow, what a great matchup. Jed was right there, hot on his heels. They were definitely very close to both getting through and finishing that. But wow, what a victory. What an awesome run there from Aaron. What an awesome set of matchups there from Aaron and from Jed. And Jed is an old friend of the show, and so it's so great to have you on here, Jed. And congratulations making it into the round of 16. Very nicely done. And congratulations to Aaron, who's going to now move on to the round of 8. That is awesome. Wow. GG to the winner. Really GG to both of the runners. Guys, if you could put a GG in the chat, a good game for Aaron, a good game for Jed. Very, very nicely done to both of our runners. That was awesome.
Need to watch everyone run like that.
Yeah. Really.
But now, when I was at home watching, like no, do a thin feature, and then now I'm saying it, and he's erasing this stuff and doing the thin feature. I'm like, oh, geez, maybe I shouldn't say anything.
Well, I think that we saw there that Aaron has the skills to get through, and I think that it really showed at the end there when he was able to do that final spin and then see that little dingus, as he said.
Yep.
That's a true representation of somebody who really knows their way around the 3D modeling world.
Got Rue FPV in the chat.
Yeah, what's up, Rue FPV? Huge shout out to Rue FPV in the chat. Great to see you in here. And great job to everybody. And IGRLFLBS. Hi from Sweden. Welcome, welcome. I'm not really that good at reading, so. I'll just say the hi from Sweden part. Good job, Aaron. You're hired. That's what he says. All right. Mendy says, GG. Congratulations to Aaron. Aaron is going to move on to our Elite 8 competition coming up here in just a few weeks. We'll be in the Elite 8 and possibly all the way to complete victory. Wow, wow, wow. And Jed, awesome job. Thank you so much. Great job. Guys, if you guys enjoyed that match, be sure to stick around. We're about to have another awesome match as well, but also be sure to support the channel. Mendy Beige saying, proud mom here. All right,
Oh, cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The whole family cheering on.
The whole family's here cheering on. Well done. Well done. Awesome job. Guys, if you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're watching from your TV set, you can still go into the like menu in there. If you're watching from your phone, you can go in the like menu. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Get all the updates and notifications. See how these runners do. And, of course, be sure to share and reshare. Take a screen capture of what we're doing here. The next match is going to be between Onshape and SOLIDWORKS. Where else are you going to see that kind of action on a Saturday morning? I'm willing to bet
Nowhere else.
Nowhere else on YouTube are you going to see this kind of live action. So be sure to take a screen capture of this. Be sure to share it out with your network. It's a great way to help grow the channel, to help grow the support for these types of tournaments. And of course, be sure to support with Super Chat if you are so inclined. You can go down to the bottom of the YouTube chat. There's an option there for Super Chat. You can do it from your phone. You can do it from the internet. There's a little $ symbol there, and you can support us with Super Chat. It is very much appreciated. We got Christian Blanc in the chat. We got Nico Concarne in the chat. Everybody's filling in now. Woohoo, I made it. Yes, great to see you here, Nico Concarne. Thank you for joining us. Awesome, awesome matchups here.
Does that mean Nico with meat?
Nico with meat, yep.
Yeah.
And don't forget, guys, if you want to get your own version of the shirt that Tom Smith and I are sporting here today, would you say this is the softest shirt in the CAD game?
This thing is wonderful, and it's one of those long tees too. So when your belly sticks out like us old parts are getting,
Yep.
it doesn't come up above your pants. It's very nice.
What a great endorsement. Yeah, I completely agree. They are form-fitting. They make you look slim. They make it look like you're more muscular. They're just everything. They help you. It helps you find the delete face command a little bit faster.
Yep,
It really
yep.
just does everything you could ask for. So check it out, TooTallToby.com. There is a merch link up top, or a t-shirts link, and you can purchase shirts that make you 2.5 inches taller. Yep, they make you faster at CAD. They make you look better in CAD. Yes, these are all testaments from people who know.
Yep.
So check it out. We do have some shirts available still. We are kind of starting to run a little bit low on inventory. We're going to have a new shirt design probably before we get to November 11th. So we do have a new shirt design in the works, and look out for that too. But you still have a chance to get this limited edition Too Tall Toby Black Technical Tips and Tricks t-shirt. And with that, we are going to head over to our second match here, the Red Bracket, sponsored by AaronC. Huge shout out to the team at AaronC for sponsoring the Red Bracket, for giving up seats of CAD to everybody. Jed, you're going to get contacted here soon with your information about how to get your own seat of AaronC. So congratulations on that. And next, we're going to see the match between Imants, the University of Washington engineering student, and JMD, the industrial designer. SOLIDWORKS versus Onshape. USA versus USA. Last week we had 4 different CAD systems and 4 different countries.
Jeez.
Yeah. And this week it's like the USA week. So all USA this week. It's all good. We're going to see who's going to move on here as we move into the red bracket, and we see this matchup between Imants and JMD. Let's learn a little bit about our runners before we get started here. I like this icon for Imants. It's like a...
What about the Black Knight from Monty Python?
That's what it looks like. He's like holding a pipe wrench. I guess it's probably a blacksmithing tool.
Oh.
But yeah.
None shall pass.
Yeah, none shall pass. What? Alrighty. Cool. Says this is made from an air duct.
Resourceful.
Yeah, I can see that. That's pretty cool. All right, Liam Hunter is here. Late in today. Dry overcast Scotland. Awesome. Welcome from Scotland, Liam. Great to see you in here. Imants mainly CADs on a Chromebook. Wow. Again, a testament to the power of Onshape, running a web browser-based CAD system where as long as you can get online, get connected, you're probably gonna have a good experience. I've seen people run it on mobile devices. The one guy ran the leaderboard challenge and did 3 models in under 9 minutes from Android Galaxy S22.
What?
Yeah, using Onshape. to the leader. 3 fully
I find
defined
these
correct
hard
models.
to poke at things.
Yep, he did it. He did it with his finger. There's a video of it on the leaderboard challenge, so if anybody out there wants to watch that, it's pretty cool. Enjoys bouldering. Recently started working for Onshape. Awesome, congratulations. University student, already working for a great company. And occasional saxophonist. Not all the time.
Just occasionally.
just to be clear, not all the time, just occasionally. Lillian says, bouldering for the win. Nice. JMD started using SOLIDWORKS in 2011. Wow. So maybe before Imants was born. Big Lord of the Rings fan, in particular the movie and the LCG card game. Very nice, very nice. Original degree was bachelor's in 3D art at Northern Illinois University. Very cool, very cool. And has a big, fluffy black dog named Jorah.
Oh,
Yeah, named Jorah Mormont, right? What's that from? Is that from, I don't know, George R. Martin or whatever? Can't remember what that show was called.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, there you go, the Game of Thrones. Yeah. I just remember certain names.
Yeah.
Certain characters. All right, yeah, from Game of Thrones. Oh, JMD confirming. Game of Thrones. Okay, cool. He knows. All right, and our Rue FPV says saxophone needs to join the CAD Monkeys band with Tom, Gary, and Toby. Yes, indeed. That's what we need is a saxophonist.
That's all.
We could do some George Thorogood, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need. All right, cool. Welcome. LGR FBS. That L can be okay. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm a caps man myself. All right. So, wait, we got one more thing here. Built my own custom D-Bot 3D printer from scratch. That's cool. That's very cool. Alrighty, so let's just do another practice round for these amazing runners here. Let's make sure that all systems are go. I think I have a pretty good, a tough model for them to try to model up here. Let's make it interesting. We're gonna make it a little interesting with this one. So we're gonna give these guys just a quick practice round. This allows Tom and I also to make sure that our tech setup is correct, and then we'll jump into the actual matchup here for these guys. So let's flip over here. This first practice challenge here for our runners begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in 0.xxxxx pounds?
I think the toughest part of this is it's in inches.
Yes, that's 5 X's. We're going to be working in inches on this one. So our runners need to make sure that they've got a template that can work in inches. Looks like both of our runners are getting up and running here. Let's make sure we got the correct names up top. Imants on the left running Onshape. We got JMD on the right running SolidWorks. And we got our challenge here. Our runners, part of this challenge is, working in inches. Part of it is making sure that you can get your answer in a deep enough precision. We're looking for this in 5-place precision here. 0.xxxxx pounds. What is the answer? So our runners are trying to go through, scrambling to adjust their settings. Who knows if they're even going to need this skill? I don't know. I might just be running them through the hoops here for no reason. We'll see what happens. Ex Machina Engineering says, I know.
JMD just went for the full 8-digit.
Just whatever, just jam it through there, yeah. And JMD answering in the chat, very nicely done. Question coming in here from the chat from LGRFBS is saying, then can we sign up for the new year of CAD vs CAD? Yeah. So we're gonna have multiple tournaments next year for everybody who's interested. I know there's been a lot of people asking when can we sign up for the next one. So we're gonna get through this one. This one's gonna end on November 11th. We're gonna do a special live event on November 11th in Pennsylvania. If you have the ability to get to Pennsylvania and you want to come out on the 10th and sleep over at the hotel, and then we'll hang out in the morning and do the live event together. We're gonna have more information on that. Get it on your calendar at least. But once we get that all squared away, we're gonna start having the signups for the next CAD vs CAD tournament. We're gonna have multiple tournaments next year, so just stay tuned and everyone can participate. We're gonna have some interesting new formats. We're gonna have a shorter time period for the entire tournament. So lots of exciting changes coming for the tournament. And Jason Cannon asking, where are you getting these funky beats? Well, let me tell you something, Jason. If you enjoy this type of CAD music, I do have a CAD music video on my YouTube channel. It's about an hour long of just these types of beats. So you can listen to them while you are creating your next 3D CAD model and kind of stay in the zone. It's really meant to help you kind of stay in the zone. So, all right. So looks like JMD answered 0.12345 pounds. Imants answered 0.12345 pounds. And that is correct. And so that would give the win to JMD, but no points awarded for this quick practice round. Let's get back into it here. You know, we can't award any points without the Wheel of Fate deciding what the fate is for these runners. So let's bring up our Wheel of Fate. The Wheel of Fate is sponsored by AaronC today. Huge shout out to AaronC. Thanks a lot for sponsoring the Wheel of Fate today, for deciding what
51.
What fate will behold these guys. Yeah, 51. Good. I like that answer.
I'm going to stick with that number.
Yeah. Gary Bruce is getting in there. 37. Nico Concarne agrees with you. 51. 51. Let's go. Ex Machina Engineering 32. Procky hoping for 37. 32. Lots of 32s and 37s today. Wonder what that means. All right. Let's give this thing a rip. Even Imants is voting for one here. My money is on 32. Here we go. Just joining the crowd. Yeah, that's a good strategy. I like that strategy. Let's let this thing rip. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Oh. Let's go. All right, Andres is in the chat, giving some super chat there. $9.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Andres. Very much appreciate it. Was a runner in the tournament last year, I believe, and thank you so much. Very much appreciate it. And 37, we have a winner, 37. So congratulations to everyone who predicted that it would be 37. Let me remove this from the wheel and let's get everything ready for these guys. Now, I know, Tom, you haven't seen too much action between these two runners, but just from that limited action you did see, what advice would you give these guys?
Yeah, I mean, with all those decimal places, do you remember last year, I didn't copy and paste the mass into the chat. I typed it and I fat fingered it, and it was like 318 went to 381. So guys, I know your hands are shaking like crazy. Take your time, copy that mass number and paste it very carefully.
Yes, I do remember that. That was quite the.
I was like, no.
Quite the situation. Yeah. So, all right, let's make sure we got everything ready for these guys. I think the one time, I don't remember if this was you or somebody else, but they copy and pasted the density.
Oh, no, that wasn't me. I didn't do that.
Yeah. And I was like, you know,
0.027 pounds per square inch. Like,
yeah. I was like, I don't know how much hint I should be giving this person, but, you know, yeah. Sometimes I give a little hints, you know, like I'll be like, just as a reminder, we're looking for this in 2 places. You know, just in case somebody doesn't, you know, because I think they're close. All right, I think we're all ready for this. We are going to be going to this CAD battle. This is the very first CAD battle here between Onshape and SOLIDWORKS. And this CAD battle, September 23rd, begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? So tolerance is plus or minus 1 gram. You can see that this part is called connector. And I want to see these guys in action here. Let's flip over to our CAD versus CAD main layout here. How do we come up with a solution for this challenge? We got Imants on the left running Onshape. We got JMD on the right running SOLIDWORKS. Where to even begin with a part like this? This part, it looks like it does have symmetry.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like the symmetry would do you any good. If I was drawing this, I probably wouldn't even bother.
But we see both of our runners starting out very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar profile. Imants was able to get in there and create that kind of main shape a little bit faster here, maybe running Onshape on a Chromebook. But you can see JMD is right behind him, and it's certainly not a game of one feature.
Right, that's a situation where I would use the slot tool even though it was hanging out the other end. And we got Imants putting in fillets.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see, you know, on Imants' screen, you can actually see there's a web browser interface up top because he's just running off of a website. Not launching a CAD system, or is launching a CAD system, but just launching it right off of a website.
Yeah, it's great how well that works.
And although Imants seemed like he got off to a pretty fast start, you can see that JMD on the right already has what looks like almost the whole model laid out. So we'll
He's
see
getting there.
Yeah, we'll see how those two different techniques come together. Imants using more of like the feature by feature technique on the left, and JMD using a little more of the layout technique on the right.
One way you can just draw the sketch without any dimensions, and then stretch things and move them roughly to the right spot, and then as you throw in dimensions, things start to snap together.
Yeah, kind of get a better feel, better picture for what the whole thing is going to end up looking like. Imants actually kind of deviating here on this final feature and switching over to more of the layout approach. And I think that kind of speaks to what you said earlier, Tom, where sometimes it's better to create all the layout geometry just so you can understand where everything needs to land.
Right. Sometimes, the vertex of something needs to line up with whatever. And if you don't know where that is yet, you kind of need that geometry to be there.
And wow, Imants is just screaming through this model, looking like he's already got quite a bit of the geometry put together there. He's got this, there's a plugin in Onshape that lets you see the masses, and he's coming in with a mass here, and Imants is answering with a mass of 1959 grams. That is not correct. That is not correct. So now,
before you even said he was not correct, he went and found.
He saw he was missing something, or something didn't look right.
Yeah.
Kind of looking over the model there, making sure that everything looks good, and looks like maybe he's going to be revising. I see he's looking at that overall mass, and so man, Imants is so fast. And we're gonna see, what he ends up doing as he's looking over this. Oh, wow, that was almost. I
saw that.
That was a little,
I wasn't gonna say anything.
A little whoopsie there, almost. That was interesting. And so we see that Imants is now, looking over the model, deciding what he wants to do, and revising his answer to 1942 grams, and even entering final answer. Wow, so he's letting us all know that's his final answer.
That's it.
You are correct. That is your final answer. And that is the correct answer. So congratulations to Imants. Wow, wow, wow. That was speedy. That was really, really fast. Really flew through that thing. And wow, wow, wow. That was awesome. Great job. Woo, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, the high stakes do indeed keep us on our toes. I think everybody who was watching saw Imants with that extra fillet.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that's supposed to be there. I'm looking off at our
yeah.
print.
Saw him with the masses up on the screen, and was probably wondering, like, is he just gonna enter the wrong answer here? What's gonna happen?
Yeah, I saw him selecting the mass. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Is there gonna be an upset?
Yup, exactly. Yeah. And so, wow. Well, I mean, even this is kind of an upset because remember, JMD is the number 3 seed.
Yeah.
In the whole tournament. So, wow. Imants versus JMD. What an awesome matchup there. Onshape versus SOLIDWORKS. I'm willing to bet that this is the only channel on YouTube where you're going to be able to see this kind of Onshape versus SOLIDWORKS action on this Saturday morning. So be sure to like the video, and of course, be sure to give a GG in the chat to the winner, to Imants, and a GG to JMD. We see Imants giving JMD a GG right away. Very nicely done. JMD saying the model got me a bit. Yep, we've all been there. We got iDig3D here in the chat. What's up, iDig3D? I don't really know how to read that good.
It's probably iDig3D. That makes a lot more sense.
iDig3D, welcome. We got Rashina in the chat, putting a GG in there. Welcome. I saw Pranav is in here too. Pranav, another competitor that we had a few weeks ago who's going to be competing again in the Sweet 16. I saw him in the chat earlier. What's up, Pranav? Welcome. We got Tom Schnars here saying good game. What's up, Tom? I know that guy. I used to be roommates with that guy, actually. So what's up, Tom Schnars? Welcome, and thank you for joining us. So awesome to see you in here. I'm actually going to see Tom later tonight.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
2 Toms today.
How about that?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm overload.
Lucky. No such thing. No such thing. All right. Let's see here. I appreciate the X-Plane variant just for fun. Yes, indeed. Always go. Oh, wait, there was an X-Plane in there? I didn't see it. I must have missed it.
I mean, the placement of the bottom, but I mean, it's on plane anyway. It'd be hard to. There's not that many exploits on this, but
yeah,
you could do it.
Yeah. The truth is that model was actually a holdover from the round of 32.
Oh, was it?
There's a couple of little gems in here. I'm not gonna say which ones they are, but there are a couple of little gems in here that I felt like I felt like they were kind of right on the line between round of 32 and round of 16, and so I pushed them through. Not all of them, but a couple of them made it through. So congratulations to Imants. Moving on.
Oh, he rotated.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess that wouldn't matter.
Interesting.
Do them all.
Wow. Whoa, tricky. Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
See, we can't even see the exploit, but Ivan can.
Well, and that's the problem. A lot of times people say like maybe you shouldn't allow for those exploits, but it's like, well, how am I gonna know? Like,
right.
How am I gonna know? Am I
We're
gonna
only
like
asking for math. So.
Yeah, and if it's like just this, like, what if somebody just does something slightly off? You know, am I gonna get the model and then run a geometry compare or something?
Yeah.
Like, come on. So yeah, it's just an exploit. It's just part of the system. All systems can be bent a little. Some can be broken.
Yep.
All right, Morpheus. Y'all make it look so easy. I completely agree, Rock Crawler. Y'all make it look so easy, indeed. Alrighty, Spooba is here. Same rule for everyone.
Yep.
Indeed. Yep, you're exactly right. Same rules for everyone. 1 versus 1 format. That's what it's all about. All right, guys. We learned a lot about our runners. We learned that Imants, I'm not sure how many different root beers Imants has tried. I'm gonna say
He might have the 98.
yeah, he might
know of a 98.
He's like only 96. So come on. All right, so let's see what the Wheel of Fate has in store for these guys on this next round. Remember, if you're watching from home and you want to guess what the Wheel of Fate has in store, this is your opportunity.
See, the arrow is always on 51. That's why I picked it.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like when you flip a coin. You know, I'll tell you what, Tom. I'll help you out here. I'll shuffle this a couple of times.
I thought 51 was going to land, right?
All right, we're going to shuffle this up a little bit. We're going to see what happens here. We got some really good guesses here in the chat today. I really think everybody's, it's kind of like every week people get better and better at guessing these numbers. You know, I think people are just, they're really honing in here. Joko Engineering going with 32. I like it. All right, let's give this thing a rip. Here we go. The Wheel of Fate. What does it have in store? What's it going to be? Oh, boy. Wow. Okay. 51.
What do I win?
Yeah. Well, you're going to win a good show, I'll tell you that.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right, guys. 51. I was wondering if this one would come in. Now, remember, Tom, you're here behind the scenes, so don't, no spoilers, okay? Yeah. All right. So good luck to everybody. We're gonna get this next round ready to go. And congratulations to, who was it that got it right? To Dasmi, 51 got it. And I think that was, oh, and Sahil is here. What's up, Sahil? Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Sahil got it as well. 51, very nice. And Nico Concarne, totally getting it. 51, that is correct. Very nicely done. Very nicely done to everybody who guessed, and especially those who got it correct. Getting better and better every week at getting these correct. All right.
That's because there's lots.
No, well, we replenish.
Oh.
We always replenish. Yeah, there's always more to come. All right, you guys. Tom, what advice do you have for Imants this time around? What advice do you have for JMD this time around?
Look for Ivan exploits, I guess, because that does make it easier. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just interested to see what the drawing is, and because like I could give advice and it's no good for this part.
Right, you don't know what it's gonna be.
So it's
nobody knows.
I can't give away all my tricks.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's like you said, when you have a chance to really look over the model, it's kind of like, well, my advice would be to think about how the model's going to change in the future, and
then the part that comes up is not going to use any of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky in this type of environment. I would just say, just try to stay calm. We had one runner the one week who said that they were wearing a Fitbit and their heart rate was like, like 145, like resting.
Yeah, my watch would record it.
So
you have no idea. Well, I guess you do. You used to do the Monomania.
Yeah,
you get nervous.
I got a similar. I did a live stream a couple of months ago where I tried to do the leaderboard challenge in Onshape, and I wanted to do all 3 models in less than 6 minutes, and I got a similar rush from that because I did it the first time, and I got so close to the end, and I was like 6 minutes 5 seconds, and I was like, come on! And so then I was able to go through and do it again, but that gave me that feeling again. I got it again for sure. All right, guys. Jet Hightower in the chat says staying calm equals impossible.
Yeah.
Imants says the butterflies are real.
They are. Very real.
Okay. All right, guys. Remember, it's the Wheel of Fate. Here we go. We're going to take a look at this next CAD challenge, Onshape versus SolidWorks. This next CAD challenge between Onshape and SolidWorks begins in 3, 2, 1, go. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? Our first sheet metal challenge in the round of 16 is now upon us. I know you guys love seeing sheet metal in the audience. We love seeing our runners struggle with sheet metal. Remember, to the runners, you don't have to model it as sheet metal. I'm not asking for a flat pattern or flat length or anything like that. So if you don't know how to do sheet metal, you can just slug through it using thin features. That's totally fine. We gave fair warning to everybody. Sheet metal will be part of this competition, and the Wheel of Fate had it in store for today. Good luck to our runners with this sheet metal part. Let's flip over and see how they handle this. Wow, wow, wow. So we see Imants going for it here from that kind of left side view. I like it. I like it. We see JMD. Looks like he's got some sheet metal experience, maybe. Going for it from the right side. You know, each CAD system calculates sheet metal a little differently. So
Right, you have to have your K factors set up. And
yeah.
I mean, that's for the flats.
That's for the flat, but even for like the bend region. So that's why, you know, when I make these kinds of drawings for the, you know, whether it's for the Model Monday Live or for this tournament, you know, I have to keep that in mind. I basically have to do all the flanges bent to the outside.
Right.
That's a big part of what I'm doing. So there's no like auto clearance or anything like that. All the cuts are nice and clean. All of the bends are, you know, nice, cleanly hogged out in the corners.
This wouldn't be that bad drawing it as a solid, not using any sheet metal.
Just do it as a thin feature.
Yeah.
Do it as a thin feature.
Shell.
Add in those fillets, some shells. Yeah, you can definitely.
Shell the whole thing.
We're giving away everything. Huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're not. It looks like they're using.
Looks like both.
Imants has used a shell already. JMDs are using actual flange features.
Yeah, both the runners look like they have at least a little bit of experience with this type of geometry. We're gonna see how they get through it, but this is gonna make things interesting. You know, the sheet metal capability is definitely one that you need to know. I'm not gonna give you guys anything too crazy in sheet metal, but you need to at least know how to do some flanges, some cuts, things like that. And that is just the Wheel of Fate. You know?
I probably would have used draw it as a solid and then convert to sheet metal.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that one.
It is a super powerful tool, available both in SolidWorks and Onshape.
Is it?
Yep, Onshape has a very similar offerings to what SolidWorks has as far as like the insert bends versus convert to sheet metal versus base flange tab. So definitely an option in both. But you could also, you know, we saw a match a couple of weeks ago with Chadwick, where Chadwick had kind of forgotten how to do sheet metal in Inventor, and he got a sheet metal part in the round of 32, and he just kind of modeled it all up using solid geometry. You know, just model it thin and yeah, add all the outside fillets, which in this case, since the wall thickness is 5, the outside fillets would be 10, and the inside fillets would be 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that certainly is an option. But I like seeing how our runners are kind of handling this. Imants on the left doing more of that thin feature type of approach, and JMD on the right doing the traditional
full,
yep
full sheet
the cuts that Imants is making there. You know, he would have to cut those to be 5 millimeters deep for the material plus another 5 millimeters for the bend radius. So if you're doing the cuts, I know it's kind of a hint. I'm not trying to like really punish somebody if they have no idea how to do sheet metal. So and then for what we see JMD doing on the right, you can just see how much easier it is to get in there and just create that geometry using traditional sheet metal. But, you know, there are going to be some challenges, like the way he's got his flanges there. It looks like, there we go. There you can see JMD going through, moving those flanges to the outside.
There's a lot of options in sheet metal, and you need the correct combination.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
It is like a combination lock. You got to put when you dial in 1, 2, 3, you got to put those things in order. Otherwise, it comes totally different.
Exactly, yeah. And you also, you know, some of the dimensions on this thing, like you'll see a dimension that represents the overall length, but that might be the overall length from the location where it's bent to the other end of the part. And so that can be, challenging too. I think on this print, like you can see the 260 on this print. It's like, well, where's that 260 really coming from? How do I account for that as I'm creating my sheet metal features? So. And then we can see JMD actually working on that right now. This is what happens when you get two competitive CAD guys in the booth. We're just going to give
away too many hints.
All the secrets, yeah. It's a very special episode today of the World Championship of 3D CAD speed modeling. So we see JMD already over on that side, creating that triangular cutout. Really like the way that he's approaching this, creating it using the sharps. We'll see if he decides to put those fillets in at the sketch level or add them at the feature level. And we see Imants on the right, having to locate this un-Ivan exploitable.
Yeah, he doesn't have
feature.
to locate that. Just put it wherever.
No, because I dimensioned it. See the 35 from this end and 110 from this end. I tried to make it un-Ivan exploitable, and he's trying.
Yeah.
You know, we try to make things a little bit tougher.
He didn't have
runners.
to center it. Oh, he's got an answer.
Okay, Imants coming in with an answer. 3, 2, 2, 5. Go ahead, Tom. You can say it.
It is correct.
And that is correct. And that is going to give Imants the win. The unstoppable cat. The victory cat is here. Wow. Wow. My goodness.
And JMD was not far behind. Because he took the time to do the sheet metal. All the radiuses were taken care of. Imants had to put those in.
Yeah. JMD was right there, hot on his heels. And what a matchup. My goodness. That was crazy. Yeah, GG. Imants says GG JMD. That was crazy. Yes, indeed. What a matchup between these two epic runners. So cool to see some SOLIDWORKS versus Onshape action here on this Saturday morning. My goodness, what more could you ask for? We even got a sheet metal model.
Yeah, and a sheet.
Yeah, getting a sheet metal model is so special. Huge shout out to the Wheel of Fate for that sheet metal model. Always good to have those kind of special challenges here in this tournament. So everybody give a GG in the chat to Imants, our winner. Moving on to the round of 8, the Elite 8. But of course, a GG to both of our runners. Really well earned from both of our runners in that matchup. JMD definitely challenging Imants, keeping him on his toes. JMD was right there going through and creating that model. Looks like he's actually got it finished up now. Let me flip back over to the CAD versus CAD screen. There we see JMD all nice and buttoned up with that model, or pretty close to buttoned up with that model. So really nicely done to our runners, to both of our runners, really to all of our runners today. We saw some great matches today.
Yeah, that was.
So huge thank you to AaronC and to Jed for being part of these matchups in the green bracket. Huge thank you to Imants and JMD for being part of the red bracket. Really good matches today. And don't forget, guys, if you're enjoying this type of content, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to send this around to some of your friends, some of your family. Let them know that this is what we're doing on Saturdays. We're having a lot of fun with this tournament. Thanks again to Andres for the super chat. If anybody else is out there and wants to send in some super chat, this is a great chance to do that as we wind things down. JMD in the chat saying, thanks, Too Tall Toby. This was fun. Thank you, JMD, very much. Again, remember that you're going to receive some information from AaRLibre about how to claim your free seat of AaRLibre. So thank you so much for being part of this tournament. AaRLibre for everyone in the tournament. Huge thank you to AaRLibre for sponsoring and putting up those prizes. And
thank you, Toby, for having me.
Oh, I didn't get to the thank you for you yet. It's coming. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm thanking you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, okay. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank me. Yeah. And don't forget, guys, if you want to get the softest shirt in the CAD game, the store is up and running properly, so you can check it out. Hit us up. Sign up on the website. We do have membership on the website. Next week, the Sweet 16 continues Saturday, September 30th. So visit tootalltoby.com/calendar to get in on that those challenges from next week. We're going to see some awesome matches. Check out the YouTube playlist. And let's see here. What do we got next week? We got, actually, no, that's not the right slide. Forget it. I got a different one for next week. It's next week. It is going to be Ivan the Reasonable, old friend of the show, going up against Chadwick, who we just were talking about a few minutes ago. Victor K going up against Will from Brazil. So awesome matchups here coming up. Thank you, Tom Smith.
Oh, thank you, Toby.
So cool being here in person together.
Absolutely.
This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much to all of you in the chat. We are going to do Model Monday Live on Monday. I'm going to do the late start again. We did the late start this week at 1 p.m. It seemed like it worked out better. We got a lot of good feedback from the chat. Instead of doing it at 11, we did it at 1 p.m. And a lot of people were like, this time slot's so much better. I can actually make it. So you guys want to join us on Monday, September 25th. We're going to be there live, Model Monday Live. And if you can't make it on Monday, you can always come back for the tournament next week. I'm going to go through and create all these models using Onshape. So you get to see me doing some more Onshape sheet metal. That'll be a lot of fun. And of course, you can join us next week, Saturday, September 30th, as the Sweet 16 continues. Tom, any final thoughts for the chat, for the audience?
No, not really. It was a really great matchup. Can't wait to see you guys in the finals.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Maybe you can come on November 11th in person.
I'm planning on it.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd love to have you there. Yeah, we're going to do November 11th in person. More news on that coming out soon. But thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your week. I'll see you either Monday or I will see you next week on Saturday. See you, everybody.
See ya.